Let's start with the topic deadlock avoidance. Deadlock avoidance is mainly used to avoid deadlocks to ensure that system never enter into deadlock state. So this method requires additional information about how resources are to be requested. That it requires the system should have some priority information that should be available. So with this knowledge, the complete sequence of requests and releases for each process, the system can decide for each request whether or not the process should wait in order to avoid possible future deadlock. Each request requires in making the decision that the system must consider resources currently available, the resources currently allocated to each process, and the future requests and releases of each process. The simplest and most useful model that requires that each process declare maximum number of resources of each type that it may need. That is, each process has to declare itself the maximum number of resources of each type that it requires for its execution, for its to complete its task. Okay. Given this prior information, it is possible to construct an algorithm that ensures that system will never enter a deadlock state. A deadlock avoidance algorithm dynamically examines resource allocation state to ensure that the circular wait condition can never exist. Okay, so now here in deadlock avoidance algorithms, we are using resource allocation graph. How the process will request and release the resources, that is done by using the resource allocation graph. So here we are checking the resource allocation state. Suppose if there exists a circular wait condition in the graph, then the system is not safe. If there exists a circular wait condition, the system is in unsafe state. So there is a possibility of deadlock. So the resource allocation state, it is defined by the number of available and allocated resources and the maximum demands of the processes. Okay, we'll see what is safe state. So state is safe if the system can allocate resources to each process up to its maximum in some order and still it can avoid the deadlock. The system is in a safe state only if there exists a safe sequence. Here the sequence of processes consider P1 to Pn is a safe sequence for the current allocation state for all the processes in the system, such that for each Pi the resource request can be satisfied by currently available resource plus the resources that is available by all the Pj with j is less than I. So that is process Pj that is appears before the Pi. So this is a safe sequence. J is less than I. So now what will happen? That is nothing but if Pi resource needs if Pi resource needs are not immediately available, then the Pi can wait until the Pj have finished, because Pi is waiting for the resources of Pj, and if it is not available at that time, so it has to wait for the Pj has to finish its task. Okay, when the Pj finished, Pi can obtain needed resources and execute and return allocated resources and then terminate. When Pi terminates, so next process, that is Pi plus 1, can obtain the needed resources and so on. After Pi plus 1, then Pi plus 2. So it will continue. So this is a safe sequence. Okay. If the system is in safe state, then there is no deadlock. If the system is in unsafe state, there is a possibility of deadlock. But deadlock avoidance, that will ensure that system will never enter an unsafe state. That is, if there is no safe sequence, then the system is in unsafe state. If there is a safe sequence appears for all the process in the system, then the system is in safe state. If there is no such sequence exists for all the processes in the system, then the system state is in unsafe state. Okay, this is one example. When the system is in safe state, so there is no deadlock. When the system is in unsafe state, so there is a possibility of deadlock. We have two algorithms to avoid deadlocks in the system. First one, we have single instance of resource tab. In that we are using resource allocation graph. Second one, we have multiple instance of resource tab. So there you are using Banker's algorithm. So single instance is nothing but, so if I consider this is a resource Rj, resource type Rj, and single instance is nothing but, so we have only one instance of Rj. I'll consider Ri, one instance of Ri. So in this case, so we are using resource allocation graph. Second one is a multiple instance. Multiple instance is nothing but, this is a resource type Ri. It is a multiple instance, that is 1, 2, 3, 4. So here the resource type Ri has 4 instances. This is an example for the multiple instance. So in that case, if there is a multiple instance for the resource type, then we need to go for the Banker's algorithm. Discuss first algorithm in deadlock avoidance, that is a resource allocation graph algorithm. So in this scheme is used only when there exists only one instance of each resource type. So in addition to the request and assignment edge in the resource allocation graph, we introduce new type of edge that is called as a climb edge, that is from Pi to Rj. That indicates that process Pi may request resource type Rj at some time in the future. So this edge is similar to the request edge in direction, but it is represented by using the dash line. For example, so this is one example for the climb edge. Now here P1 and P2 is requesting for the resource type R2 in the future. Okay, not currently. So in the future it can request for the resource type R2. Okay, this climb edge can be converted into a request edge when a process requests the resource. The request edge can be converted to assignment edge when the resource is allocated to the process. When a resource is released by the process, assignment edge is converted into climb edge. That is, first we need to consider the climb edge here. The climb edge will be converted into request edge, and the request edge will be converted into assignment edge. Then assignment edge will be reconverted into the climb edge. Okay. Now here the resources must be climbed a priori in the system. That is, before PI start executing, all its climb edges must already appear in the resource allocation graph. That is, all these all its climb edges must already appear in the resource allocation graph before PI starts executing. Okay. So now suppose that when a process Pi requests for the resource Rj, the request can be granted only if converting the request edge Pi to Rj to an assignment edge, that Rj to Pi, so does not result in a formation of the cycle in the resource allocation graph. If there is no cycle, then the allocation of the resource will leave the system in a safe state. If the cycle is found, then the allocation will put the system in an unsafe state. In that case, process Pi will have to wait for its request to be satisfied. For example, consider this graph. So now here P2 is requesting for resource type R2, and then P1 is also requesting for resource type R2. Now consider the P2 is requesting for resource type R2. Now R2 is available, so now request can be granted. So P2, that is so I'll take request edge. Okay, now R2 is available, so that it can be assigned to the P2. Now what will happen? There is a formation of the cycle, that is from here. There is a formation of the cycle. So here there is a possibility of a deadlock. So we cannot allocate R2 to P2, since this will create a cycle in the graph. So if there is a cycle in the graph, the system may be in an unsafe state, so deadlock may occur. So we need to avoid this kind of cycle in a resource allocation graph scheme. If there is a formation of this cycle, then the PI has to wait until the request has to be satisfied. Otherwise, there is a formation of this cycle, the system will go to the unsafe state, and there is a possibility of the deadlock.